Happy Tuesday night, everybody. It is time for some New York Mets baseball once again. The Mets are taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers out in Hollywood, trying to continue this winning streak that they're on, trying to win their fifth game in a row, and also trying to work to take this season series from the Dodgers here. So as you come on in the room, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. We need your help, and we would appreciate your help so much as it is. We're going to give a full rundown. We'll be with you from start to finish for the entire game so you can know what is going on. We've got the scoreboard of Major Leagues going on in the background, and we'll highlight some other clips as well. Appreciate each and every one of you doing the dual stream tonight. So we are live on both horizontal and vertical, whatever suits you best. And so super excited to be here with you. We are going to also turn on having comments on the screen on the horizontal. So appreciate everybody as you come on in. Let me know that you're here. Let me know who you are cheering for tonight. Of course, the big news, we did a blip on this earlier today. Mark Vientos is out. We'll do a little checking to see if there's any more details, but generally a hamstring injury, you can assume 6 to 8 weeks. It's going to be a while without Marky V, unfortunately, but it did open up the door and the opportunity for Ronnie Mauricio to make it back up to the big leagues. Not just make it back up, he is starting tonight, and he is starting at third base tonight. So really briefly, we will go over the starting lineup for the Mets here in just a second. So leading off will be Lindor at short, your designated hitter, Starling Marte, Juan Soto, the right fielder, Pete Alonso at first, Brandon Nimmo in left, Tyrone Taylor in center. Ronnie Mauricio is hitting seventh at third base, Francisco Alvarez catching, batting eighth, and Jeff McNeil is second base and hitting ninth. So no Beatty, no Acuna, no Torrens, no Jared Young tonight. Those are your four bench bats that you have that will be available to the Mets. This game is going to get started in just a couple of minutes. Pitching tonight for the Mets will be Tyler McGill. He's looking to string together his third good start in a row. So he had a great March, April. Then he had a rough May, but good recovery towards the end of May. So just hoping to build on that. Of course, this is not the easiest lineup in the world to build on that sort of thing. So just got to do what you can do with what you got. And so hopefully we can get another solid Tyler McGill performance. I would say anything 3 earned runs or less would be a great performance for Tyler here today. I'm just rearranging my screen here a little bit, trying to figure out exactly how I want everything. That works pretty well. So I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Again, as you come on in, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. Appreciate you all being here so much. We are waiting for the game to begin. It's set to begin in about 2 or 3 minutes. While we do that, we might as well go ahead and check out any updates that are on Mark Vientos here. Darren, how's it going? Let's go Mets, baby. Let's keep this winning streak going. I'm just trying to find the most recent update. All that they were saying, all I seen this morning was doesn't look good. So Mark Vientos is officially on the injured list. Let's see if we get any more details than that from the article. Prediction, Mets win 10-0. That sounds great. The Mets have never beat Clayton Kershaw ever. So this would be a very good night to give him his first loss ever against the Mets. I think they said he was like 18-0 against the Mets all time. That's crazy. Doesn't mean the Mets haven't actually gotten a win. As you're coming in, please say hi. We'll try something here and doing that. Let's see. Yeah, one of the things that was notable for the Mark Vientos injury, obviously, we don't ever want to see anyone get injured, but Vientos did not have any options left to go back to the minor leagues, and it looked like he needed a little time and opportunity to kind of work on some of the kinks in his swing and get that stuff figured out. And so, in the course of his rehab, he is going to get a rehab assignment in the minor leagues. So he's going to actually get that little bit of extra work in the minor leagues. Oscar, how's it going? Hope you're doing well tonight. Everybody, as you're checking in, please let me know what team you are cheering for. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. Our next checkpoint is 300, so we could really use your help. We're working our tails off to get to 500 subs by the All-Star break, which is like 7-8 weeks away, something like that. So I could really use your help. Would appreciate it so much if you'd be willing to hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're still waiting for the game to begin, so don't worry, you are not missing anything. Okay, you're not missing anything. So the big news in Metsville is that Mark Vientos is out. Always cheering for the Dodgers to lose every day, Mets. Absolutely. I'm also hoping that Francisco Alvarez can build on his good game yesterday and keep that going. Of course, we're looking for the Mets to win nonetheless, but MLB.TV just cut over to the Red Sox game. I have no idea why. I'm going to switch out. They literally just cut from the Mets game that I was watching over to the Red Sox. There we go. But now it changed to the Dodgers feed. We'll try this again. Yeah, the Mets feed just changed over to the Red Sox, so I got to watch the Dodgers broadcast. How horrible is that? All right, well, Francisco Lindor is leading off here. Lindor skies this one out to center field. And so that's the first out of the game. Lindor is going to be retired. Rooting for the Dodgers not to win. Wow. Everyday Mets is already calling for the rally pig here in the first inning. Starling Marte, Juan Soto are the next two due up. What do you guys think about the consistency or lack of consistency of the lineup of Mendoza constantly moving people around? Most of you guys know I'm not a big fan of that. I would much rather there be some form of consistency, that you have mostly the same players starting most every day. But that's just not how Mendoza likes to play it. So I'd love to know, am I the only one? This is kind of driving me batty. And there is a single out to right field for Marte. So that's going to be a 1-out base hit and the first base runner, first hit of the game for the Mets here today. And Juan Soto's coming up to the plate with lots of booze. We've got a little bit of power tonight. We got some peanut butter with peanut butter M&M cookies. So we're going to save those. There'll be celebration bites. Every time the Mets score a run, take a bite of cookie. Your cat is barking. Gub, gub. First pitch to Juan Soto is a strike. I think you might want to go get that checked out. You trust Mendoza because he made you look silly too many times? Fair enough. Fair enough. It just frustrates me. Maybe I just want to be so lazy. Just like having the same thing every day. That's inside corner to Soto. No balls and 2 strikes. Gub Gub, it sounds like you should not be anywhere near animals. It sounds like you got some animal issues. Thanks for hanging out with us here tonight. So we're streaming both on horizontal and vertical, whatever you prefer, whatever floats your boat. Here is the 0-2 pitch. That is low, just low. Of course, the Dodgers announcers say it's a strike. It was low. The Mets broadcast on MLB TV is still showing the Red Sox. So I'm stuck watching this Dodgers broadcast right now. This is popped up by Soto. Will Smith is able to make the catch in foul territory. That's going to be 2 outs. Your bird walks. If your bird talks, it would just be a parrot. If your bird walks, I mean, some birds walk. Some birds walk. Yeah. So it is still nothing. 2 outs here, top of the first. Clayton Kershaw is pitching. Pete Alonso is at the plate. Mets have 1 runner on. First pitch is fouled. I am stuck. For those of you watching on MLB TV, are you having the same issue that I am where when I switch over to what is supposed to be the Mets broadcast, it's showing the Red Sox game? It's still showing. I'm stuck. Like, oh, nothing worse than having to listen to Dodgers announcers. Now, if it was the olden days and it was Vin Scully, I'd be all over that. But these guys, nah. Throw over to first. Marte gets back. No balls, 1 strike to Pete Alonso. You're having the same problem, Darren? 0-2 to Pete Alonso. You're blackout to what? Oh, yeah, because if you're local, you're going to be blackout. It was like everything was fine. And right before the first pitch, it just switched over to the Red Sox on MLB TV. I wonder if I go to the Red Sox broadcast if they're showing the Mets. I don't know. I don't know. So we got the scoreboard going on the screen for you guys here tonight. Pete fouls that one away. Probably a ball, but it's the type of pitch that you want to swing for when you have 2 strikes. You don't want to strike out on that pitch. Appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. It's back. All right, Pete fouls that one back. Let me check this out. Please, please, please. Yes, it is back. Thank you, Darren. So glad. Like, I get that announcers are homers in the one sense that they're rooting for the team, but I don't like announcers who are not. Well, that sails way over the head of the catcher. Starling Marte is going to move up to second base. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Pete Alonso. So the Mets do have a runner in scoring position here. There are 2 outs. So, but now a single will probably score Marte instead of needing an extra base hit. Another foul, chop foul down the third baseline by Pete Alonso. Okay, so the Mets have beaten Kershaw in the postseason, but in the regular season, Clayton Kershaw is 11-0 with a 2.00 ERA in 18 appearances, 18 starts against the Mets. Another ball fouled by Pete. Good at bat here by Pete Alonso. Of course, Shohei Ohtani will be leading off for the Dodgers. Curveball is hit out. He's hit on the center field. Starling Marte is going to score. The Mets are going to go up 1-0. And Rally Pig comes through right away in the top of the first inning. I really like that at bat of Pete. It reminded me like his at bats were at the beginning of this season. And it's just, definitely feels like this offense is starting to click once again. Yes, Rally Pig did come through. Rally Pig broke his slump. 1 for 1. 1 run. So there you go. There's Rally Pig. 1 for 1 with 1 run on the night. Swimmo Brandon Nimmo, talking about fish walking. Gub Gub. Swimmo Brandon Nimmo is at the plate. How's it going, Tyga? Glad that you're here. We are English only in the chat, so please make sure you are in English. Yeah. Hey, we got to take what we can get, right? When you're slumping. Remember yesterday, Francisco Alvarez had like barely a hit, but then later in the game, he came back with a bigger hit. Sometimes all you need is the one hit for the slump buster. It's a strike down the middle to Nimmo. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nimmo. When this team starts scoring runs in the first inning on a consistent basis, definitely makes the games a lot more fun as a whole. That's outside. Good pick by Nimmo there. Oh, yeah, sorry. We scored a run. I get to take a bite of cookie tonight. 1 bite of cookie for every run the Mets score. You got to keep me accountable that I don't have any extra bites. Nimmo goes around there. It's our rally pig. It's just like our mascot. We've got a rally pig. We have a rally bear. We have our trumpet for Timmy Trumpets, Edwin Diaz when he comes out to pitch. And we have our pet rock for our rock solid relief performance of the day. So just all sorts of props that we have going on. So the Mets are up 1-0 right away as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Not a crooked number, just 1 run, but nonetheless, I will certainly take it. So we'll update the stream so we're horizontal and vertical, whatever suits you the best. D-Rails, how's it going? Well, Vientos is out. Ronnie Mauricio is up. So Mets fans, tell me what you think, how you feel about all this. Obviously, I don't think anybody's excited for the injury to Vientos. That's not the part, but are you excited about Ronnie Mauricio being here, being up, being in the starting lineup? He is batting 7th, so we should see him next inning, right? Yeah, Mauricio is due up second next inning. He's playing third base tonight. So once again, this Mets roster rotation situation just keeps, it's hard to find clarity, and Mendoza keeps trying to find spots for everybody. So I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Before we go any further, if you want to help support this channel, help us grow, help us to be able to do more live streams and more other video and content, breaking news like we did earlier today. We were one of the first channels out there to report on the Ronnie Mauricio news. I thought about putting a video up even before everybody else. But anyway, if you are interested in helping support this channel, what you can do is you can just go right to the pinned comment and you can join our Patreon. There are levels as cheap as $5 a month. In terms of like my time and what I would make delivering during this time for 3 hours, it's about $75. So I'd love to get to the point where eventually we could add $75 in patrons per time that we go live. But for now, if you are interested in helping out, I would love to have you. Special shout out to our current patrons, Darren and Pfeiffer. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. And if you want to get your name shouted out, go ahead, join the Patreon. One of the best things that we do on there is give you early access. Our next video that's coming up is 3 up and 3 down. We're going to be talking about 3 teams that are on the rise, 3 teams that are on the fall. Early access to videos for the rest of the YouTube world. Once we get a handful more people, we'll start doing like a special patron only exclusive videos that'll never go live, never go public on YouTube. It'll just be patrons only. But again, if you want to do that, if not, if you don't have the money, don't want to do it, don't like me, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to support the patron. We're glad that you are here. Anyway, it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani, of course, is always a threat to hit a home run, but he's also always a liability that can strike out. And he did both yesterday. He struck out twice and hit a home run. The key thing, I actually kind of wonder, what do you guys think? Oh, nice call. Third strike on Ohtani by Tyler McGill. Do you think that the Dodgers should move Ohtani down in the lineup so he can hit with runners on in the first inning every once in a while? I understand the draw for putting your best player in the number 1 hole, but I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Again, who am I to question Dave Roberts as well? Yep. Yeah, I mean, if the Mets had traded Beatty, this would be. I mean, Ronnie Mauricio would just step into your full-time, everyday third baseman. So you got to be careful that you don't shoo guys away. You need depth. People are going to get hurt. It's just the nature of the game. It doesn't matter how durable your team is or anything like that. You got to do that. Yes, and then in terms of Vientos getting healed up, you want him to get healed up fast, but you also don't want him to rush back because I'm sure we've all seen guys who have hurt their hamstring and then they rush back too quick and they just weren't able to handle it. Mookie Betts singles out to right field, gets a one-out base hit and a base runner for the Dodgers here. So it's 1-0 Mets. That's a good two-strike swing by Betts to just punch that out to right field. So Mookie Betts is back in the game tonight after being out yesterday, and I think he missed all the Yankee series as well. Freddie Freeman takes first pitch for ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. That's a nice pitch on the inside corner by McGill. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Freddie Freeman. It's just outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. So we're gonna have a bite. These are peanut butter cookies with peanut butter M&Ms in them. So it's like double peanut butter cookie, if that's a thing. I don't know. Big swing and a miss by Freddie Freeman there. Mauricio is in today simply because you don't want to call a guy like him up for the minors and not let him play right away. Freeman hits this ball all the way down the right field corner. Mookie Betts is going to score on the play. And Freeman's going to go all the way to third on that. That was deep, deep into the right field corner. So it's going to be 1-1. McNeil should have just thrown the ball. Should have just thrown the ball to third. So both McNeil and Freddie Freeman basically blundered on that play. But the way it works out, Freeman is the one who ends up safe at third. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This is Teoscar Hernandez at the plate for the Dodgers. I don't know if McGill's our worst pitcher. He's one of our better strikeout pitchers. Teoscar Hernandez does not swing, checks his swing on that pitch. I have I still don't fully trust Griffin Canning for a full season yet. I don't think you have to label a worst pitcher. I think it depends on what you're looking for from the pitching performance overall. Um, you know, it just depends. McGill is still in development. I don't know what we have in Montas and Mania coming back from their injuries. I just think it's a very Mets fanian thing to try to always figure out a problem. Like, I don't think you have to have a problem per se. So let me go to Mets pitching stats here. Let's see. Tyler McGill is the strikeout leader of this pitching staff right now. He has 72 strikeouts. You know, if you want to say worst as in the sense of he's our number 5 starter, that's fine, I guess. But I think just labeling him as the worst, I I don't think he's the worst in the sense of he fits the role that you would want from a number 5 starter. Obviously these are some tough games here that he's in. McGill's last 2 starts are good. He had a couple of rough starts, probably 3, 4 rough starts, end of April, beginning of May. His last 2 starts have been solid, though. He got walloped by the Yankees. That one wasn't a good, but even his worst start of the year, I'm just trying to see. Yeah, he had if you take that last one, April against Washington, gave up 3 runs there. But even in his bad starts, he only gave up 4 runs. I just don't think you have to label him as our worst starting pitcher. I think you just label him he's our number 5 starter. So, that I guess that's just maybe it's more of a semantics thing, but I just don't think you have to label a guy as like unless you're saying every team has a worse starting pitcher, then that's fine, I guess. But to me, it kind of is. I would never say that about a guy like McGill. He's exactly what you want to get out of a number 5 starter. He's the weakest, you could say. You could, something like that. But it just kind of comes with a connotation. Worst is like, I just think that's not the way that I would ever refer to that if I was a coach of a team. I just wouldn't say he's our worst starting pitcher. No, he's our number 5 starter, and he's a better number 5 starter than what most teams have. So, it's a semantic thing, I suppose. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. There's a 1 out. Will Smith at the plate. That's a foul ground ball down the third baseline. Tap to third base. Mauricio fields it, throws over to first to get the out. Another run is going to score for the Dodgers here, though. It is going to be 2-1 Dodgers. Nothing Mauricio could do about that one. So it's 2-1 Dodgers. But that kind of goes back to the error on McNeil. So as of right now, As of the moment, that will not be an earned run. They're calling it earned, but I don't know why that would be earned unless they changed it. Did they get rid of the error? Because if they say that Freeman moved to second on the error, then that shouldn't be an earned run on McGill. Unless I'm missing something. So they're calling it an earned run. Someone who's maybe more knowledgeable about scoring than myself, let me know. I feel like that should be, if they're saying that Freeman went to third, Freeman had to have gone to third on the air if they said the run scored on the air, because otherwise Freeman couldn't have gone to third. If there's not another hit, I think that that should end up being an unearned run on McGill, but maybe I'm wrong on that on my scorekeeping vibe. Mac Muncy ripped that one. That's destroyed. 4-1 Dodgers. 4-1 Max Muncy absolutely destroyed that ball. Regardless, that is not the first inning that Tyler McGill wanted. That resolves the issue of it being an unearned run. It's definitely an unearned run at this point in time. Yeah, but D-Rels, I just think that you're, what do you want out of a number 5 starter? I think I bet you Tyler, compare Tyler McGill to other number 5 starters. You're not comparing him to a number 1 starter. And really, you're comparing him to, what did he come in at the season as? The number 8 starter? So, you don't need your number 5 starter to be good under pressure. You need your number 5 starter to eat innings. And that's a much more, I think that's a much bigger concern. And I think the other bigger concern too is, how come our pitching coaches have not been able to develop McGill beyond March and April? I feel like there's something there in the training regimen that needs to be fixed. Because obviously he has the stuff that's good enough when the players are kind of cold in March and April. And then as the bats heat up, he's not able to make the adjustment, which is very interesting as a strikeout pitcher, because you would think a strikeout pitcher would be able to handle it better as the bats started heating up. Um, so I wouldn't say that I'm not concerned about McGill. Oh, it's early, Stephen. It's early. You know, this is not a this is not a high pressure game for the Mets to win by any means. Yeah, I was gonna see. I was wondering if the Mets were gonna bring anybody up. And just check to see if there's any new names. I don't think so. Was Waddell was recalled today? Maybe there's, yeah, the bullpen is going to be razor thin. The Mets. Here's the other thing too. Not just talking about tonight because he's given up 4 runs, but in his other starts, when Tyler McGill is giving up 4 runs, that should be plenty of. There should be enough offense. The Mets need to score more runs. Vito, like, how's it going? Hope you are doing well tonight. The Mets need to score more runs consistently, day in and day out. There should be, Mets hitters need to remove this pressure from the Mets pitchers in general and allow them to go deeper because they have a larger margin of error. So one of the things that people are not talking about, people are talking about how shallow did Yeah, Brandon Waddell is available today, everyday Mets. No, I'm not talking about this game, derails. I'm saying in the other games where he gave up 4 runs. There's no reason that 4 runs should be the death knell for this team. This Mets team should be scoring a lot more runs than they are. And I'm saying as a whole, as an entire pitching staff, the fact that the offense is not scoring more runs is part of what's burning out the bullpen because you've got these guys who are pitching the fifth, sixth inning with a 1-run lead, and you can't afford to leave them in. And so the Mets bats can start to provide relief for the bullpen if they can start finding ways to be scoring 7, 8, 9 runs on a more consistent basis than what they have been. It's 3 balls, 1 strike to Tyrone Taylor. I look big picture, derails. I look very big picture with things. And that's a walk to Tyrone Taylor. This gets back a little bit to that whole runners in scoring position debate that Mets fans are having, and it does impact. It's a team sport, and everything that happens impacts it. All right, Ronnie Mauricio with his first at bat in the major league since 2023. First pitch is on the outside corner. Strike one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Wow, that was a ball called a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. Welcome to the big leagues, Ronnie Mauricio. No ball strike challenge system here. That's ball low. Not called a strike that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tyrone Taylor is on first. No outs. Top of the second inning. That's high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's fouled off his foot. It goes fair, but doesn't matter. It's a foul ball as he hit it off of his foot. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Top of the second. Mets down 4-1. Here's the 2-2 pitch again. That's chopped to short. Throws to second and to first, and a double play. That's going to be 2 outs in the inning. And all the fair weather Mets fans want to send Ronnie Mauricio back to the minors because he grounded into a double play. If you go back and look at Mauricio's stats from 2023 up in the majors, I mentioned this earlier today. Don't expect that he's going to be just lighting the world on fire. He brings the spark, he brings energy, he brings speed, he brings dynamic, but he doesn't bring a high batting average based on his 2023 results. Doesn't mean he can't. But this is not AAA, and the life is got to be earned. Everything's got to be earned in the majors. Francisco Alvarez is at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike to Francisco. Big. See, that's the big swing that Alvarez needs to get rid of. His big swing is like his swing for a home run swing. The double he hit last night was not the big swing. It was just a line drive, opposite field, put it into play. And that's what he needs to be doing more of. So we got to figure out how to help Alvarez get back on that. That's in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. If Mauricio's a contact hitter, I think maybe they should consider putting guys in motion a little bit more in front of him. That's outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here. Top of the second. Dodgers up 4-1. The only pitch during that at bat. Yeah, he got a couple of rough calls there. I do agree, Lounge. You're a rookie, and Clayton Kershaw's on the mound. You're not going to get the benefit of the doubt of any call of anything close. Jeff McNeil is up. It's the 9 hole. So, in the very least, the Mets are going to turn the lineup over this inning. So, that's good. Alvarez on first. Very short lead for Alvarez. That's a strike to McNeil. No balls, 2 strikes. McNeil hits this one out to left field. Conforto makes a couple steps back. That's going to retire the side. We're going to head to the bottom of the second inning. It is 4-1. Dodgers over the Mets. Appreciate all you guys being with us here today. All right, let's do this. We'll do a quick little scoreboard update. You already have some of the scores on your screen as we speak. I'm going to run through them here really quick. Games in action. Giants lead the Padres 2-0. That's already one more run than was scored in that entire game last night. It ended up being a 1-0 game in extra innings. The battle for Missouri. The Royals are over the Cardinals 10-7. That is in the bottom of the ninth. Cardinals do have a runner on there trying to score. The Orioles continue to try to build their little resurgence. They're tied with the Mariners 1-1. Athletics over the Twins 1-0. That's top of the third. Of course, you know our game. The rest of the games are finals in the books. The Astros beat the Pirates 3-0. The Rockies, I believe that is a 2-game winning streak for the Colorado Rockies. They won 3-2 over the Marlins, proving that, hey, maybe the NL East has a bad team we can beat up on too. Cubs beat the Nationals 8-3. Yankees beat the Guardians 3-2. Phillies over the Blue Jays 8-3. Angels beat the Red Sox 4-3. Reds halted the surging Brewers 4-2. Diamondbacks beat the Braves, so Mets fans are happy about that. That was an 8-3 win. Rays over the Rangers 5-1, and the White Sox had a nice game against the Tigers, winning 8-1. So that is your scoreboard update. We'll bring it back to the top for all of you so you guys can follow along. There's the 3 games that are in action right now as we speak, so you can see those, follow along as we go. Go Orioles! Absolutely. I actually, I hope this Orioles team can make a run. I think it would be a great story for baseball. They've got a lot of talent. They need pitching, and they have some veteran players that they could potentially trade at the deadline to try to acquire some pitching. But if you really want to see the Orioles make a run and not completely sell off at the trade deadline, they need to get to, I would say, 7 or 8 games under 500 by the All-Star break. Something along those lines. So they were my preseason pick for the World Series against the Mets, so I'm a little tied to them, maybe more so than I wish I was, but nonetheless, Michael Conforto, former Met legend, is at the plate right now. No balls and 2 strikes. Everyday Mets, no worries. These games get late. So I totally get it. Have a good night. Hopefully the Mets can turn this around. They need a little bit of sleeping power for you. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Michael Conforto. McGill looking for his bounce back inning this inning. That's fouled away. That was that first inning, guys. Just to let you know the overall level of starting pitcher performance the Mets have had this season. That was the first inning this entire season. The Mets gave up more than 2 runs in the first inning. So that's pretty good. Of course, the Mets are still one of 2 teams not to have gotten swept yet this season. That's hit to the right side. McNeil fields it, throws over to Pete. Sun Kim is up. Hopefully, I'm saying that name right. For the Dodgers, McGill wants to get him to face Otani with the bases empty. Obviously, that's the hardest part is keeping everybody off the base paths in front of Otani. I don't know. What do you guys think? I brought this up before. Would you consider moving Otani down in the lineup a little bit? I just wonder if ooh, Kim fouled that one off his own leg. Senor Pesky, yeah. Darren, will McGill settle down? Well, D-Rails is convinced that McGill is washed. He's our worst starter. The one thing I have liked about the Mets starters this year is even when they've had bad innings, they have found ways to not let the damage get out of control. I'm joking, D-Rails, by the way. But um, this this Dodgers lineup is not an easy lineup to go against. So I think the only unfortunate part was that the home run he gave up was to Muncy. It's like if you're giving up home runs to Otani, Betts, and Freeman, it's kind of like, well, welcome to the club. But when you're giving up home runs to Muncy and Pajes and Conforto, that's when it's a little bit rougher. There's a swing and a miss. So, like I said, Tyler McGill is the Mets strikeout leader for the season. Big swing and a miss by Otani. There's 2 outs here, bottom of the second. They're actually Keith Hernandez is talking about the same thing I am. You can see what generation I'm from. He doesn't like that Otani's hitting as the leadoff hitter, and I kind of agree. I think it's new school baseball is taken over the logical side of old school baseball. By the way, Max Kranick was the one who was sent down today to bring up Waddell. So the Mets had another bullpen arm. You can be like 99% certain you're going to see Waddell today. That's nothing on Kranick. It's just the guy who had options. Yeah, I think there's something to that. I understand you want his spot to come around the lineup as quick as possible late in the game, but yeah, I tend to think that you're wasting a lot of his home runs, especially early in the game, by not having players on in front of him. This is fly to left field. Nimmo gets under it and makes the catch. So there's a 1-2-3 inning. So obviously, there's still a lot of work to go, but that is exactly the inning that was needed by Tyler McGill that time. Now, there's still a long, long way to go in this game. And the Mets do need to start chipping away at this lead because it definitely does feel like a game where you're going to need 6, 7 runs to have any sort of legit shot of winning here. Lindor and Marte Soto, 1, 2, and 3 in the Mets order, are due up here in the second inning. So appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. I know we're up a little bit on the subscriber tonight. We're trying to get to 300 subscribers. We're trying to get to 500 by the All-Star break, which is like 7 weeks away, something along those lines. And so we could definitely use your help in growing the channel, and appreciate you guys hanging out with us here tonight. First, fifth, and sixth, yeah. And the third time through the lineup, that's not just McGill. There's a lot of pitchers who struggle the third time through the lineup. And he had two good outings in a row. You're going to get ups and downs from your number 5 starter. Like, that's just the nature of baseball. And just like I think people overreact kind of one way or the other to a lot of different things. People are like, well, the Yankees can't be the second best team in baseball because they gave up 18 runs to the Dodgers. Well, if you believe that, well, those same Yankees beat the Mets 2 out of 3 games. It's like individual games really don't matter that much to me. I don't know if I just got immune to the panic culture of New York media growing up listening to it all the time. It's like the vast majority of all the stuff they talk about doesn't really matter at all. Lindor is leading off here in the top of the third. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. That's in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. That is line up the middle, and the Mets have the leadoff runner on. So that is every inning this game. The Mets have gotten a runner on base. All right. Starling Marte is up. He had a hit in the first inning, looking to build on that again this inning here as well. First pitch is a strike to Marte. He also scored the Mets' only run so far this game. And there's a strike. No balls, 2 strikes to Marte. This is a chopper to Kershaw. He's going to throw Marte out. Lindor's going to move up to second. Yeah, I feel like the Mets need to be stealing more. Kind of going back to last inning too, when Mauricio is up, I feel like putting the runner in motion there, putting Tyrone Taylor in motion would have been good. Just give something else for the fielders, the pitcher to think about. If their focus is on a runner, then it's not quite as much on the pitcher. That's low. 1 ball, no strikes to Juan Soto. That's low as well. 2 balls, no strikes to Soto. Mets do have a runner on second with 1 out. That's fouled back by Juan Soto. 2 balls and 1 strike. That's high. 3 balls, 1 strike to Juan Soto. Pete Alonso on deck. Yeah, Kershaw keeps missing high with that curveball. Remember, the Dodgers bullpen is just as taxed as the Mets bullpen. So it's just as important the Mets keep grinding away at bats. Let's check swing strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Soto fouls that one back and remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kershaw's up to 55 pitches in the third inning. That's not too bad from the Mets' perspective. Mets have a runner on second with 1 out. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Juan Soto. Kershaw has not been perfectly sharp, but he has been enough for the Dodgers so far. Oh, Juan Soto rips that one. It is high. It is gone. It's a bomb. Soto for Juan Soto. That's Juan Soto for Juan Soto. And Juan Soto comes through a huge hit. Oh, it is nice to have Juan Soto on this team when he is hitting well. That cuts the deficit to 4-3. And the Dodgers came out punching, and now the Mets have counterpunched. That was beautiful. Beautiful. And because I'm eating cookies, I get a 1 bite of cookie for every run. As Pete Alonso grounds out to short, stop here, I get 2 bites of cookie. These are peanut butter with peanut butter M&M cookies that my wife and daughter made together earlier today. All right. And Nimmo flies out to deep left field in foul territory. So it's going to be 4-3 Dodgers. We go to the bottom of the third. It's going to be one of those games where there's no pitching and lots of runs. And once we get in these bullpens, it could get crazy wild. First team to, what do you think? First team to 12 wins? The way this is going and looking right now. It's good to see this team punching back, though. That's one thing that I think they've kind of lacked throughout the season. All right. Somebody's sending me messages about something on Facebook Marketplace. All right. I'll be right back. Otani threw his translator on under the bus. I haven't. Are you talking about his old translator? He didn't do it again, did he? Tell you what, I don't know what went down with that whole situation. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I know MLB is going to protect its stars as far as it can. Hold on, I'll be right back with you on commercial break. Appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's go Mets, baby. Oh, hold on. I guess I got to plug in my laptop here really quick. Hold on. I'll be right back with you. Make sure we're charging. Don't want to lose power in the middle of the stream. ST, that's possibly true. Just got to keep our comments family friendly here. Family friendly, F-bomb free. But I appreciate you being here. Yeah, I mean, MLB's a business. They're going to protect their business assets as much as they possibly can. How it goes? Mookie Betts leading off for the Dodgers this inning. Mets have pulled closer. Now they got to figure out how to keep it close. It's a good pitch on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mookie Betts. Soto just hit a home run for you. Well, maybe he did it again. Maybe you're super ahead on the stream. That's fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Maybe you're watching Future Cast, Future Stream. Absolutely. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Your Angels won, Patrick. That's awesome. I've become a big fan of Taylor Ward this year. Been cheering him on. And I kind of had the Angels as a surprise contender to make the playoffs this year that not a lot of teams had on their radar. I hope they can stay in this race. Yep, Angels beat the Red Sox 4-3 earlier today. The Orioles have taken the lead over the Mariners. Athletics still leading over the Twins. Giants up 2-0 on the Padres. I think Mookie Betts just fouled a ball off of his injured toe. Yep. He's fouled off his foot at least. Yeah, Trout does need to stay healthy. And it's good for baseball if Trout stays healthy, too. So hopefully that is something that can continue. Baseball is just so much better when its stars are healthy. This is going to be flied out to left center field. Tyrone Taylor calls off Brandon Nimmo. That's going to be the first out of the inning. Freddie Freeman is now up for the Dodgers. Well, I certainly, Patrick, wish your Angels well throughout the rest of the season. I don't know. Let me see. Soto. I don't even know the best website for this offhand. Stathead? What does Stathead say? Not well. Coming into I don't know if this includes tonight's game or not, but a 1 for 9. 1 for 9 in his career against Kershaw with a couple of walks. So, but he got him tonight. He got him when the Mets really needed that. Yeah, Robert, I definitely feel like so the Angels were in a difficult situation because half a season of Ohtani is still going to probably generate you more income and revenue than anything you could have gotten out of that trade for him. So from the business perspective, I get why they didn't trade him. From the player development side, it's a little tougher. Freddie Freeman pops out to Ronnie Mauricio at third base. I think we're going to get to see Ronnie next inning. So, yeah, once again, Tyrone Taylor will be leading off, followed by Ronnie Mauricio and Francisco Alvarez. Thank you, Patrick. I try to be a student of the game. I love the sport of baseball. I am a Mets fan, but I try to be a student of the game. Right now my son is in Little League, and he's at that point where a lot of us have been, where it's just very it's the dream. The dream is to go to the big leagues, and obviously we know the odds of that are so slim. But I'm not going to be the dream crusher. I'm going to learn as much as I possibly can. So, and I try to do that. Hey, ST, gotta watch the language. But I will agree with you here, ST, 100%. There's a few things about the game, a few of the changes I don't mind, but there's more things I don't like about the changes that have been made in the game. I'll rant on that here in a second. The 0-2 pitch to Teoscar Hernandez. Wrong Hernandez. What team is Kike Hernandez on now? I can't even remember. We've already faced him this year. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Teoscar Hernandez. Yeah, absolutely. Playing up to high school ball or higher. That's going to be shot out to right field, but Juan Soto's going to make the catch, retire the side. Yeah, so now that we're at commercial break, let me update my banners here for the top of the 4th inning. It is 4-3 Dodgers headed to the top of the 4th inning. So let me just get those banners updated. So, and you can. So a couple things I don't mind. One, I don't mind instant replay. In this day and age where everything is just micro-analyzed nonstop, instant replay. In fact, there's probably a few more plays I wish they would have instant replay. And I'm not particularly opposed to the ABS challenge system, though I do not want to go full robo because there's that. But what I don't like, so I did not like at all the 7-inning doubleheader games. I hated those. I despise the extra base runner and extra innings. I just absolutely despise that. I think it's an absolute travesty to this game that teams get runners on base for doing nothing except making it to extra innings. So so I just hate that part of the game. This isn't necessarily a Manfred thing in particular, but I like analytics for judging individual performances. But I hate how analytics is running the game right now, and I definitely want to do that. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I don't know anyone who's been a longtime baseball fan who likes. And look, the Mets benefited from it last night, right? But I just don't. I don't even know who it's the advantage. Sometimes the advantage to the away team, sometimes it's the home team. but I hate what it does to pitchers. It's unfair to pitchers to have to come and pitch in distress. And so I don't like that. And I don't like having the designated hitter in the National League. I despise that as well. If I could have my choice, I'd have no designated hitter in either league. But yeah, I do not like the universal designated hitter. Tyrone Taylor grounds out to Mookie Betts for the first out of the season. All right, a couple other things. Yeah, no, I agree. And I was talking about that with one of the parents today because my son is playing 10U All-Stars, Little League All-Stars. He's a 9-year-old. He's playing 10U All-Stars. And which is great. But like some of these kids at 9 and 10 years old are throwing curveballs, and all the science says that you shouldn't be throwing curveballs at this age. I'm like, I don't care if my son strikes out on a curveball from a 10-year-old. I'm not going to have him pitching curveballs till he's much older. It's just, and as you get higher up, all that matters is velocity, velocity, velocity. And again, this is kind of the overall. And some of these things aren't Manfred exactly, right? They're Manfred tangent things. They're not like Rob Manfred isn't going out saying you must only pick pitchers who pitch with the highest velocity. But we got into the discussion tonight is, would Greg Maddux ever even make it to the major leagues in today's game? You know, yes, he was phenomenal, but his pitching style, at least I'm saying pitching the way he pitched, would he have done? Maybe he would have made the changes to make the majors, and I think this is the unfortunate thing is you have so many guys. But all right, a couple other comments. Patrick, you miss Ohtani so much. Loved him on the Angels. He made the right move. Absolutely, he made the right move. And Ronnie Mauricio grounds out to the catcher. That's going to be 2 outs here in the 4th inning. So I agree there. You've disliked it as well, Lounge. Yeah. The ST. Starting pitchers go 5 innings, and we have to hear how great of a start they had. Yeah, I agree with that. And then, Lounge, you were asking, do my son and I watch YouTube videos together and stuff? He goes, absolutely. And the other thing that we do is when something's not working, you know, whether usually with his swing, but when something's not working with my son's swing, I'll film his swing and then we'll go back and watch it because he doesn't always realize what he's doing. And that's a swing. He held it. Alvarez holds the swing there. 2 balls, no strikes. I thought he went on that one. I probably would have rung him up and not rung him up. I would have called the strike on that at first base. But yeah, I mean, so we do use the modern technology. I'm not against technology, but I'm against some things are not Manfred's fault. That's a strike down the middle. 2 balls, 1 strike. We need more Torrens. I'll tell you what, Torrens has been a absolute surprise for this Mets team, and I'm a big proponent of having 2 decent hitting catchers on your roster, and especially with all the years that we had to deal with some of the less than desirable catchers we had before Alvarez came to town. I know Alvarez is struggling a little bit. That's a strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Alvarez. But I like feeling like there's no downgrade from Alvarez to Torrens. They each have their strengths and weaknesses. Alvarez is really good at that back pick at first. Torrens is really good at throwing runners out. Alvarez is better. Yeah, I think we could win with both. I mean, we won in part because of Alvarez last night, too. Alvarez is stressing too much. He needs to go back to his old swing. He made a swing adjustment to be more like JD Martinez, and I just don't think it's panned out. I'm not going to tell him he should switch it, but I certainly feel like he would be better to go back to his old swing. There's a grounder to third by Alvarez. Muncy throws out Alvarez. That was a good at bat for Alvarez. At least made it Kershaw pitch a little bit. Kershaw is up to, what's his pitch count up to? 70? 70 pitches through 4 innings, so that is not bad. If the Mets can get Kershaw out after 5 innings and then start working on this bullpen a little bit, I think that is a good sign. So both bullpens are taxed. Of course, the The Mets brought up one pitcher today. Max Kranick was sent down. That's just a temporary thing, right? It's not like, but the Mets needed to have some other pitcher. They brought Brandon Waddell up. So have that, of course. Oh, and Frankie Montas got sent to Syracuse, by the way, too, for those of you following his comeback. So we are on commercial break as we speak. So appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are on the journey to 500 subscribers. We're trying to get there by the All-Star break. So every like, every sub, every comment, they are all so helpful in the YouTube algorithm, helping get out what we do. We're trying to bring as many of these games to you. If you like this coverage, you want to help support this channel, help us get off the ground a little bit more, you can see the pinned comment in the chat is for our Patreon, patreon.com/MetropoliFins. You can sign up at all different support levels, 5, 25, and 50, I believe, are the 3 support levels. Any level that you want helps support this channel, helps us bring more and hopefully eventually better content to you as well. If you don't want to, don't have the money, don't like me for any reason, that's perfectly fine as well. We're just glad that you're here anyway. But if you do want to financially support the channel, it is always, always, always much appreciated. And as we can grow this channel, build more margin in, we're just doing this right now because we can't do the whole YouTube membership thing quite yet. We got to keep building the channel. But between now and then, special shout out to our first couple of patrons, Darren and Byfer. Appreciate you guys supporting this channel, helping us grow. And as a thank you, you get early access to some of the long form videos that we have. All right. Go to the bottom of the 4th. Will Smith is up. Snowballs, 2 strikes. Tyler McGill had an atrocious first inning. No sugarcoating it. It was not good. But so far, yes, I have passed on the Mets fandom. And during summer vacation, he knows he's allowed to listen to Mets games, even late night games like this. So, yeah, I don't know if he's actually listening right now. Sometimes he actually listens to this broadcast too. So sometimes he'll listen to me to follow the game, which is kind of cool. Other times he'll either put on the Mets radio, listen to Howie Rose, or put on the video and listen to Gary Cohen. He gets his choice. He has 3 commentators that he can choose from. I don't know if I'm his favorite, but I'm the one who feeds him, so that counts for something. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Will Smith. Tyler McGill has actually retired 7 in a row. That is popped out to right field. Juan Soto makes a nice catch, reaching over the wall. I didn't think he was going to get that. Good job. Good job, Juan. So that's one of the better defensive plays I've seen Juan Soto make out in right field. I would imagine that the amount of games that he's gotten to play in Los Angeles when he was with San Diego certainly helped. I think that's the type of play. If you're not super familiar with the stadium, you're not making that play. So Max Muncy did the big amount of damage with the 2-run homer in the first. Mets were already down 2-1 at that point, but that home run really took a lot of the wind out of the sails. But since then, McGill's been able to shut everybody down for the most part. Let's see if he can get past Muncy once again here. That's in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mets are down 4-3 in the bottom of the fourth. Tyler McGill still pitching. Oh, I got Muncy swinging on a good pitch. Like I said, Tyler McGill leads the New York Mets in strikeouts among their starting pitchers. Well, among all pitchers, of course. So we got 2 outs. And Tyler has now retired 9 batters in a row. It's going to bring Pages up here with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth inning. All right. Thinking about it, I think this is a pretty big era for increasing the fan base. There's a lot of dads who were kids in '86 who became Mets fans. Yankees weren't good in that era. Pages shoots the ball out to right field, and it's going to be a stand-up 2-out double for Pages there. Yeah, dads who were kids in '86 who became Mets fans. The Yankees weren't good in that era. That is, I'm sure, 100% why I became a Mets fan growing up in New Jersey in the '80s, because the Yankees were not good and the Mets were, right as I was coming into my love for baseball. So, had 1986 not happened for the Mets, there's a very good chance I probably never would have become a Mets fan. So, and since '86, that's all I've been holding on to in my Mets fandom as well. So yeah, it's a good time. No, it's a good theory. Michael Conforto is at the plate. First pitch is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, I mean, it's the right time. It's the right time for the Mets to take dominance in New York. Even a decade, even if they could do a dominant. Oh, that's a beautiful pitch called a ball. Ronnie Mauricio had a couple of balls called strikes against him. That was a strike called a ball against McGill. Yeah, no, Lounge. I think you're onto something there for sure. I think you're onto something. And that's outside 3-0. So after cruising through the last 3 innings, he's hitting a little bit of a bumpy spot again here. McGill's pitch count is up to, this is going to be pitch number 80. There's a strike down the middle. By the way, not only did the Rockies win their second game in a row, they actually won a series. All right, here's a 3-1 pitch to Conforto. That's a strike down the bottom of the zone. 3-2. That was the same pitch, basically, that was not called a strike earlier in the at-bat, so that should be a strikeout. Swing and a miss by Conforto. McGill bears down. Little blip there with the 2-out double, but he gets out of the inning otherwise. It remains 4-3 Dodgers as we head to the top of the 5th. Due up for the Mets is, I believe, if I have it right, Tyrone Taylor. Oh, wow. I guess I'm completely off. McNeil, Lindor, Marte, I guess, is due up for the Mets. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot. Okay. That was last inning. Jeff McNeil, Francisco Lindor, Starling Marte due up for the Mets. So we go to the top of the 5th inning. The Mets look to try to get the lead back for the first time since they were up 1-0. let's do it. Jonathan went to bed, so we're gonna do it for him though. We're bringing out Rally Pig. Rally Pig is 1 for 1 today, so I'll be right back with you guys. Throw your pig emojis in the chat. We're gonna drink a little bit of the juice of Newt. Appreciate everybody being here. We're going to the top of the 5th inning. McNeil rips that first pitch foul. It's going to be an 0-1 count to start out the top of the 5th inning. We got Rally Pig. A Dodgers post game? Yeah. Fans always want to overreact to all sorts of things, and Mets fans are just as guilty as anyone else. It just bugs me a lot. It bugs me a lot. You know, I know sometimes I probably look to other people like I know more, or I'm claiming to know more than other things, but the things that upset fans just don't really upset me. Here's the 1-2 pitch to McNeil. That ball is hit well, but to Teoscar Hernandez. That was a pretty good rip by McNeil. It's going to be 1 out here in the top of the 5th. So 1 out. Mets are down 4-3. Kershaw's up to 74 pitches. So if we want to get Kershaw out this inning, we need to get a couple of base runners going on here. It's going to bring up Francisco Lindor. That's that curveball that Kershaw keeps missing on. He missed off way high and outside once again. It's going to be 1-0 to Lindor. Lindor, Marte, Soto, Alonso all have a hit so far today. That's also outside. 2 balls and no strikes. We got our Rally Pig out in the chat. Rally Pig is 1 for 1 with a run today. So that's also outside. 3-0. Nice patient at bat by Lindor here. We just want Kershaw to work. We want to get in this Dodgers bullpen as soon as possible. And that's outside. It's a 4-pitch walk. Yeah. Like there can be an idea where you might say, okay, Tanner Scott, we're going to take you off of closing duties for a little bit, put you in some lower leverage situations, but yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Tanner Scott, Edwin Diaz. First pitch to Marte is a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Marte hits it, and it gets past Muncy. That would look like a for sure double play ball. And instead, it's going to be, well, it's going to be a base run. I don't know if it's going to be an error or a hit. Let's see. It went right through the wickets. You just got to get that glove down to the ground. That's going to be an error for sure. So Mets are going to have runners on first and second. 1 out. Juan Soto coming up. This just feels like this would be a great time for Juan Soto to have a multi-home run game. Does it not? Does it not feel like Juan Soto would just, it'd be so good for him to have a multi-home run game? First pitch is a ball. 1-0. And again, this is exactly what the Mets needed. They need to get Kershaw's pitch count up, no matter what happens this inning. If you can get him up to that 90 pitch count this inning, that's low, ball 2. There's a pretty good chance he's not coming out again next inning. And with as taxed as these bullpens were yesterday, it's not, again, just about today and the runs you could potentially score. It's also about tomorrow and continuing to make their bullpen work. And there is action in the Dodgers bullpen. Ben Kasparius is warming up for the Dodgers, the bullpen. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Soto with Alonso on deck. Big swing and a miss by Soto. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Soto. That's fouled off his foot. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Juan Soto trying to get the lead back to the Mets. Mets have not led since they were up 1-0 in the first inning. The Dodgers scored 4. The Mets have just been chipped away a couple runs. Trying to chip away and get a couple more runs. 1 in the first, 2 in the third. Let's score 3 in the fifth on a Juan Soto home run. And there's a meeting of the minds at the mound right now, so you're not missing any of the action. It's going to be an upcoming 2-2 pitch to Juan Soto. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Hang curveball. Soto missed it, fouled it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count's going to remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is popped up behind third base. Betts calls off Muncy, makes the catch, so Soto's not able to get him that time. So it's going to be left up to Pete Alonso. Kershaw is 11-0 against the Mets in 18 regular season starts. The Mets did beat him in the playoffs one time, and he is up to 86 pitches, so he's got to be nearing the end. But man, would it be nice for Pete to do some damage right here, right now. Pete does have a hit and an RBI in this game already. That's in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. So just like Soto, a first pitch ball to Pete. Going to give him an opportunity to maybe see a couple of good pitches this at bat. Mets are down 4-3 to the Dodgers in the top of the 5th. 2 on, 2 out. Pete Alonso at the plate. Clayton Kershaw pitching. Swing and a miss at the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a 1-1 pitch. He drives it. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Lindor is going to score to tie the game. Marte is going to stop at third. Pete Alonso with the RBI double. The Mets tie it up. And it is 4-4. I'm almost surprised that let's see if Marte had a shot to score on this. Too bad Marte was not able to score on that play. That's outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Brandon Nimmo at the plate. The Mets have tied it up, now needing a base hit to give them a lead. It's 4-4, top of the 5th. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a bouncer to the right side. Oh! They just got him. Wow, that was close. They're going to challenge. Mets are going to challenge. I thought he had it beat. He did. He's going to be safe. The Mets are going to take the lead, guys. The Mets are going to take the lead because the hustle of Brandon Nimmo. Well, the way the play played out, they probably should have sent him, but they didn't know the throw was coming in. It's not going to matter because you guys can talk all you want about the dorkiness of Brandon Nimmo hustling down to first on walks, but this is why he does it. I mean, he was so far from the bag that he beat. I mean, it's clear, no doubt. I've already updated the score. It's going to be an infield hit and an RBI for Brandon Nimmo. Keith Hernandez says need to get the umpire an eye chart. No love lost. Yeah, it is really nice. I mean, when you look at the top of the Mets lineup now, every hitter 1 through 5 has a hit. So it's going to be a 5-4 lead. And believe it or not, as of this moment, if McGill could get through the 5th inning, he's actually in line for the win, despite that start. So we're going to have a pitching change. The Mets have knocked Clayton Kershaw out of the game. This was the inning that we needed. The Mets have already scored 2 runs this inning. Tyrone Taylor is coming up, but not until after a pitching change. The Yankees are overrated. How's it going, Savage Batman? Well, you definitely don't want to see my rankings, my power rankings. All the Dodgers, yeah. It's just the overreaction. You know, to me, what's much more notable about that at bat is not that at bat. It's all of the hustle that Brandon Nimmo shows on a regular basis. This is one of the reasons why he's one of my favorite players. And all those dorky running down to first like you do in Little League, like we teach our kids to do in Little League, that's what makes the difference in a play like that. Nimmo is not the fastest player in baseball, but he hustles when there's opportunity to hustle and makes it work. Yeah, Savage Batman is a Red Sox fan, Lounge, so you just have to forgive any of his Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and New York Yankees hate. So that's all. That's all. All right, let's do this while we're on for the pitching change. We'll quickly do a scoreboard update for you. There's only a few games in progress, just 4 of them here. The Twins have taken the lead over the Athletics. They're up now 3-2. The Mariners have opened up the Orioles have opened up a 3-1 lead on the Mariners, and the Giants lead the Padres 2-0. That's in the bottom of the 7th. Of course, in this game, the Mets just took the lead over the Dodgers. Yeah, there's a lot of people who were expecting the Red Sox to be good. I don't think they're out of it yet because the AL overall seems to be plenty of opportunities. I find it hard to believe that the Royals, Twins, and Guardians are all going to be there to the end. One of those teams will, maybe two, but there's still going to be a wild card spot to battle for. And I would assume it's going to be the AL West. Oh, by the way, the Mets have scored 2 more runs. I get 2 more cookie bites. Well, there's one. That's outside Tyrone Taylor. 1 ball, 1 strike. I agree. And I don't remember, we're just a third of the way through the season. There's a lot of time. That's a big swing and a miss by Tyrone Taylor. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ben Kasparius is pitching for the Dodgers. Just remember what Mets fans were feeling right on or around this date a year ago. This is right when the Mets season finally turned around. Taylor lays off that pitch finally. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And remember, for Kershaw this game, there's an error that allowed those runs to score. It would have been a double play if it had been fielded correctly. You can't assume a double play, but it still cost the Dodgers 2 outs realistically and multiple runs. It's 5-4 Mets. Here's the 2-2 pitch. He lines it to left field. Conforto gets there in time, though. Almost hit it too hard, but he hit it a little softer. It might have fallen in. Well, the Mets do score 2 more. Rally Pig is now 2 for 2 with 3 runs. So the Mets have the lead for the first time since the first inning. We're going to see what they can do. Yeah, Walker Buehler on a 1 year, that'd be perfect. 40-23. Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're going to go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Tyler McGill and the Mets need to figure out how to hold the Dodgers here. We're on commercial break right now, so you're not missing anything. The Mets do have 1 fresh arm in their bullpen today. Brandon Waddell was recalled from Syracuse. He came up with Ronnie Mauricio today. Max Kranick went down to AAA Syracuse. Of course, Mark Vientos went to the injured list. We're still on commercial break right here, but we'll be back. Haven't felt an ounce of happiness since the 2021 season when the Red Sox. Yeah, well, Mets fans know that pain for sure, too. So Hae-Sung Kim is leading off for the Dodgers. Ohtani and Betts in the hole, or on deck and in the hole. I'm wearing a Mets sweatshirt tonight, but it's getting kind of warm. It's 1-1 to Kim. Don't worry, we're still going to go. So we're just going to switch over from the sweatshirt as a long sleeve and have me warm. It's 1-2 to Kim. McGill's at 85 pitches as well, so Kim goes down swinging. Alvarez applies the tag. All right, so here it is. Third time through Ohtani and Betts. Ohtani is 0 for 2 with a strikeout today. Man, it's just there is no break in this Dodgers lineup. No break. No easy outs anywhere. First pitch is a swing, strike. No balls, 1 strike to Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is 0 for 7 against Tyler McGill. That's crazy. No balls and 2 strikes to Ohtani. Ohtani's going to use his timeout right here. All right. Lounge is doing some stats work for you, Savage. Red Sox are -3 luck this year. They're expected to be 32-30. Based on their run differential. That's Aldo Ohtani, 1-2 strikes. Hey, I just sold some Mets baseball cards on the eBay store. Mets prospect Jesus Baez just sold a 5-pack of his first Bowman cards for you baseball card collector. Baez is having a good season down in the minors. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So McGill's pitch count is high. They're going to try to get him through this inning. Struck him out. That's 2 outs for the inning. That's the second time McGill has struck out Ohtani on the day. The Mets pitchers have handled Ohtani really well. Yes, he got the home run yesterday, but that's 4 strikeouts of Ohtani over the last 2 days. First pitch to Betts is a ball. 1-0. It's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be driven out to right, and Juan Soto makes the catch. That's going to retire the side. So Tyler McGill, a very unfortunate first inning where he gave up 4 runs, but he is going to leave as the pitcher of record on the win side after that atrocious first inning. Coming back, I think he only gave up like 1, maybe 2 hits since the first inning. Absolutely shut down the Dodgers after that. So sometimes it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Who do we have in our bullpen besides Waddle? So let's see. I think Jonathan told us. I'm trying to see because someone mentioned. So Jonathan said Kranick, Buto, and Garrett, but Kranick was sent down. So maybe Buto and Garrett. That might be it. And then in an emergency, you'd have whoever your tomorrow's starter is. That's your emergency arm in the bullpen, which I'm assuming. Are we to Canning tomorrow? Let me see who's the Mets starting pitcher tomorrow. Well, yeah, everybody pitched yesterday, Lounge. So it's not just about who pitched yesterday. It's more about who didn't pitch 2 days ago than who pitched yesterday. Yeah, Canning is scheduled to pitch tomorrow, so should there be like an emergency, you could go Canning. So yeah, it's probably Canning as your emergency pitcher should you get into a long, drawn-out extra inning affair. And then if you need to, you just bring up a Blade Tidwell or something like that for tomorrow. Whatever arm is available. Ronnie Mauricio is up. This time he comes up with nobody on. Grounds down Freddie Freeman at first, and he is retired. That's 0 for 3 for Mauricio on the day. Francisco Alvarez is up with 1 out. Okay, so Budo only did 2/3 of an inning yesterday, Lounge. Yeah. But yeah, it's not even so much about who pitched yesterday as who pitched 2 days ago. Alvarez chased a high pitch. It's going to be popped out. It's going to be a foul out to Freddie Freeman down the first baseline. It's not a good pitch to swing at there. We'll be with you tomorrow, and we will be with you Saturday night for those are going to be our next 2 live games. Tomorrow's game, Saturday's game. McNeil flies out to left field. Conforto makes the catch. And the Mets quickly retired in the top of the 6th inning. We're going to head to the bottom of the 6th. Mets lead 5-4. So the better question is, who is the Mets closer? It's probably Budo. Probably Budo is the closer. It's not going to be Waddell. It's going to be interesting for sure. It's not going to be easy, I can tell you that. Yeah, I saw it too. Is he definitely done for the season? with all this stuff, it's such a crapshoot. So officially for now, he's on the 15-day injured list. I don't think it's confirmed yet. So let's see. Arizona Diamondbacks ace Corbin Burns exited his start on Sunday with an apparent elbow injury after signaling for trainers. Diamondbacks are set to place Burns on the 15-day injured list after initial tests came back inconclusive. Burns will seek a second opinion on his elbow in order to better determine the severity. He's bare minimum sidelined for a couple of weeks. They're saying information available by Thursday or Friday. I think inconclusive. My interpretation of that is the first doctor said Tommy John surgery and Corbin Burns is trying to avoid it. That's my best guess. So more like not so much inconclusive as Corbin Burns wants to get a second opinion because he doesn't like the first doctor. That's my guess. That's foul by Freddie Freeman. Wow. Tyler McGill is back out for the 6th inning. I am amazed. Maybe they're just trying to get him through Freeman. There's a chopper to second. And Freeman is retired. It just could be because the bullpen. It's probably just because the bullpen, you're just trying to squeeze out whatever you can from McGill. This is not an enviable position for McGill to be in tonight. All right, well, there's one out. Teoscar Hernandez fouls the first pitch. Back Tyler McGill still out there tonight. Big swing and a miss by Teoscar Hernandez. No balls and 2 strikes. Oh, 2 pitch gets him swinging. Another strikeout for Tyler McGill. Yeah, or it could be the opposite too. Like Corbin Burns could think it's more serious, and the doctor says, "Oh, you just need to heal up for a couple weeks." And Corbin Burns says, "No, I want to know for sure if I need surgery to get this fixed permanently." I can see it going either way, right? The competitor side could be like, "Look, I don't want Tommy John. I'm going to pitch through it." The caring for yourself side says, "I want to make sure for sure I don't need surgery before I decide to pitch on it." 1 ball, 2 strikes to Will Smith. There's 2 outs. Tyler McGill trying to shut down, basically trying to steal an inning here. McGill's up to 102 pitches. It's a good pitch, but Will Smith lays off of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gary Cohen is saying Reed Garrett is available. So Waddell and Buteau are warming up. Reed Garrett's set to be the closer tonight. Popped up to left field. Actually, Tyrone Taylor getting under it in center. And a 1-2-3 inning. McGill has retired 16 of the last 17. This is such a clutch performance for McGill here tonight. Like, I don't know how to explain mentally how hard it must have been for him to give up those 4 runs in the first inning and then pitch 5 scoreless innings after that. But that's what's happened. And so that we're going to go to the top of the 7th. The Mets coming up. Mets are up 5-4. Let's see. I'm not even sure who's due up for the Mets. We'll do this real quick. We'll do a quick scoreboard update of the few games in progress. Giants are still up 2-0. Orioles are up to a 5-1 lead over the Mariners. And Twins have a 5-3 lead on the Athletics after putting up a 4 spot in the top of the 6th. Just checking to see who has who did damage for the Orioles here tonight. Jackson Holiday had an RBI single. Heston Kjerstad had an RBI double. Colton Cowser had a home run. Ryan O'Hearn had an RBI single. And Ramon Urias had a sac fly. Yeah, no, it was good points by McGill. It's true. I used to do like online poker, and oh man, it'd be so easy to get tilted on that stuff. So, gotta have a tough mindset. My son's pretty good at handling failure. He takes a little, he bounces back quickly, but sometimes he takes an inning or two to process it. So the Mets are leading off the 7th inning with a 5-4 lead, and Lindor is leading off. So we're back to the top of the lineup. There's a 1-1 pitch coming up to Francisco Lindor. Fouled back by Lindor. Remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. And then in terms like the winning and losing side, like he wants to win, but he doesn't care that much. Like he doesn't get upset if they don't win. Lindor goes down swinging. Starling Marte coming to the plate. Top of the 7th. Big swing and a miss. The first pitch. Mets are up 5-4. Tyler McGill is in line for the win. Should they be able to hold it? Absolutely a great outing. Marte shoots this one down the right field line. It's foul ball? Man. Is that foul? Where's the ball? Man, that's barely foul. I wasn't sure if maybe it dinged off the foul pole. Yeah, exactly, Lounge. That was really close. That right field line is really. It is a foul ball, barely a foul ball, but a foul ball nonetheless. A really, really long strike. Yeah, I mean, you're talking like a foot away from hitting the foul pole, Lounge. It was like a foot away from the foul pole. It was really close. McGill goes down swinging on the next pitch. Unfortunately, that's going to be 2 outs. Mets are not able to figure out Kasperius. Going to bring up Juan Soto. I got a cookie I want to eat here, Juan Soto. Score me another run. First pitch, curveball, strike to Soto. But yeah, Darren, I mean, whatever. I know some Mets fans are going to be all focusing on the 4 runs in the first inning. I would focus on the 5 shutout innings and retiring 16 out of 17 batters in a row. You saw the floor and the ceiling of Tyler McGill in the same game. Soto grounds it hard, but right at the second baseman. That is going to retire the side. We're going to go to the bottom of the 7th inning. In a 1-run game, it's a battle. It is a battle. So McGill's day is officially done. 4 runs, 6 innings pitched, a walk, 7 strikeouts, and a home run. His ERA ends the day at 3.77. Just want to see. Game log here. Do they have the game log up already? Yeah, so no, all things considered, if you're a Mets fan, you got to be happy with how McGill rebounded. Even if you didn't like that first inning, which of course none of us did, but just being happy with how he rebounded, that he did not give up. He kept the Mets in this game and gave him enough time to get the lead back. Now, whatever the bullpen does, at least that's not on McGill. I'm not counting this anything close to an easy win, though. It's going to be a battle all the way to the finish. It's just this Dodgers team is relentless. All right, Brandon Waddell just called up from the minors today. Is going to be the new pitcher for the Mets. Yes, absolutely, Darren. No, I mean, absolutely. Just like you said, a super gutsy outing. Justin, how's it going? Hope you are doing awesome here tonight. Appreciate you being here. This is where the rubber meets the road, though. The Mets worn out bullpen. Not to say the Dodgers bullpen isn't worn out too, but first pitch is lined by Max Muncy to short, and Lindor makes the catch. Yeah, this is a tight position, but on the other hand, this is what you dream of. Like, you get the call up and you're put into a pressure situation. There's a grounder to Lindor. Makes the throw to first. That's 2 outs on 3 pitches by Waddell. All right. Kike Hernandez is coming in to hit for Michael Conforto. All right. Kike Hernandez coming in to hit for Michael Conforto. First pitch is going to be a ball up high. Waddell gets behind, 1 ball, no strikes. He's a kid, but he's 31. Yeah. Well, sometimes you just got to be willing. Right, you're a left-handed pitcher. There's always a spot for you, but sometimes you got to be willing to ride out the storms down in the minor leagues. I'm looking up his career. He's been in the majors since 2020, up and down. But he's only pitched in 14 games. So in terms of experience in the majors, you really could call him a kid. Does that include today? Yeah, that includes today. Full count to Kike Hernandez. This is Waddell's 3rd appearance of the season for the Mets. He's made 1 appearance in each month. April, 1 in April, 1 in May, 1 in June. Fouled by Kike. Yeah, Joey Gallo trying to come back as a pitcher. I don't even know where Gallo was at pitching wise. 3-2 pitch. He held off. That was a good pitch, but just a little bit low. It's going to bring Kim up with 1 on and 2 outs, with Shohei Ohtani looming on deck. So you absolutely have to go after him here. It is. It will be a lot better, Justin, if we can close out this win. All I wanted to do was get 2 wins out of the series. So if we could do it in the first 2 games, it takes the pressure off. No, Tommy Edman's going to come in for Kim as the pinch hitter. Right back to Waddell on a one-hopper. He tosses it to Pete. What a great inning for Waddell. Look, all things considered, coming up from Syracuse today, only his third performance of the year. Only his, 15th, 16th appearance. The rock-solid relief performance absolutely goes to Brandon Waddell today. This is my pet rock I made way back in like kindergarten or first grade. So, anyway, congrats. This rocks for you, Brandon Waddell. We're going on a commercial break. By the way, I was so intensely into the game, we did not do our raid. We're going to go ahead and do our raid here, even though we're going to the 8th inning. If no one reminds me and I'm like into the game, that's what happens sometimes. Okay, that's the guy we rated last night. Let's go find somebody new. He was a cool guy. I liked him. Jesse Ice Cold, I believe, was his name. Let's go live. What's this channel? No, that's no commentating there. Who we got? Let's find somebody. Let's find somebody to raid. Yeah, exactly. If I'm going to do all this work staying up late, I definitely want the win. There's Japanese stations streaming. Oh, we got our good old friend here. Let's go visit our good friend if he's got. We have not. All right, we're going to go rate our good old friend Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. There's 3 people watching right now. They've had lots of people in there tonight, but let's go share the love. Daniel Barry loves coming and visiting us. So let's go share some love with Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. How's it going, Daniel Barry? Hope you are doing well. Let's go share the love with Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. He loves coming over, hanging out with us every once in a while, saying hi as well. So we'll do the same thing. All right. So we got that. So feel free to go over, say hi, hit the like, hit the subscribe. All right. Lots of things going on here. Pete Alonso grounded out. And Alex Vesey is coming in as the pitching change here for the Dodgers. There you go, Justin. Thanks for the raid. So I think Daniel Barry is a Dodgers fan, but he's pretty cool. Always comes over, visits us. All right, one out here. Top of the 8th inning. It's 5-4 Mets. Brandon Nimmo is up at the plate. Top of the 8th inning, Mets up 5-4. 1-0 count to Sir Brandon Nimmo, Mr. Swimmo. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's just outside. Ooh, could have been a strike, but it's 2 balls, no strikes to Nimmo. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Nimmo. He rips it foul. Just out ahead of that, just a little bit. 2 balls, 1 strike to Nimmo. Hey, athlete, Jesus loves you as well. Hope you're having an awesome night. There's a 2-1 pitch to Swimmo. Brandon Nimmo gets under that one, way high, foul territory. That's going to be 2 outs here, top of the 8th inning. Wait. Knicks fired their head coach after going to the conference finals? Tell me what's going on with that, Knicks fans. That's wild. All right, so Reed Garrett is warming up in the Mets bullpen. Doesn't look like they're going to save him. For the 9th inning, they're going to use him for the top of the Dodgers order. I guess that means Budo will have the 9th if necessary. Jeff Van Gundy. Wasn't Phil Jackson like the Knicks coach long before he was the Bulls coach or something? Pat Riley. That was way high pitch. Fouled back by Tyrone Taylor. No balls, 2 strikes. So maybe they've got Buto to go multiple innings if need be. In the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Gary Cohen just gave a stat that Tyler McGill is the first Met to give up 4 or more runs in the first inning and get through 6 innings since Zach Wheeler in 2019. And Zach Wheeler turned out to be a pretty good pitcher. You got to be careful not to push all of these guys out of town. You got to let them develop. Tyrone Taylor lines this one out. It's going to be a base hit out to center field. So Ronnie Mauricio is going to come to the plate with a chance to make a big impact in his first game up with the Mets. It's a good spot to see how Mauricio approaches it. He was the president of the Knicks. Gotcha. I knew there was something. I knew he had some Knicks connection. I'm not really a basketball fan, but first pitch to Mauricio is strike. Man, he's had some very questionable calls go against him. Very questionable ball strike calls. Throw over to first. Tyrone Taylor gets back. Man, I'm getting tired. These late night games. These late night games get late. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Mauricio. Tyrone Taylor was running that time. Maybe a hit and run in play. No balls, 2 strikes. Going to be the count here. How's it going, Casey? Hope you are doing well tonight. Ronnie holds off on the high pitch there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped up by Mauricio. High in the infield. Mookie Betts gets under it. That's going to retire the side. Yeah, it is a tight game. There's going to be very few games, I think, that the Dodgers will ever be blown out of. Sorry, that was the top of the 8th. I forgot to update that. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th inning now. Get up. 5-4. After being behind, well, they were up 1-0 early, and they were behind 4-1. They've battled back to take the lead. Yeah, I wonder if at a certain point in time they're just going to have Mauricio just settle in as a left-handed hitter. You know, it takes time. It takes time to let these guys get these things figured out. As long as you can keep winning, then you can remain patient with these young guys. The problem happens if you cannot win and you bring young guys up, then they put pressure on themselves, a la Francisco Alvarez when he got called up. And then they stress. Because they stress, they may have bad at-bats, and the vets have bad at-bats, and just cycles the wrong way. So the Mets just need to keep finding ways to win. That's it. That's all we need to do. Find a way to win. All right, we finished the juice of Newt. If you don't know what I'm referring to, you need to go watch the power rankings. Going to the bottom of the 8th. So Tani, Betts, and Freeman due up. This is, as a baseball fan, this is fun. As a Mets fan, this is scary. Like, if I'm a neutral baseball fan, this is what I want to watch. So I'd ideally like to see it be the premier pitching arms of the Mets, but as a Mets fan, I don't feel comfortable at all. I feel sick. I mean, could you think of, is there a better 1, 2, 3 in baseball? Ohtani, Betts, Freeman? Reed Garrett. I don't want to jinx him, but man, he's having a good season. That's 2 balls low right away. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Got him a swing at that one. Good thing. That was going to be 3-0 if he didn't swing at it. Takes it. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Gets a strike there. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Ohtani. Three-two pitch. He misses. It's going to be ball 4, a leadoff walk for Shohei Ohtani. Mookie Betts is now up. Like I said, there is nothing comfortable about this inning. And Mookie Betts drops in a single out to left center field. There's 2 on, nobody out. And now Freddie Freeman coming to the plate. This is not fun as a Mets fan. Looking for the strikeout. First pitch is a strike to Freddie. I mean, a double play is okay, but a strikeout double play is better than getting the double play first in my mind. Got to get an out. Got to get an out without giving up a run. That ball gets by Alvarez. The runners move up to second and third. This is a nightmare inning in the making. Second and third. Nobody out. It's a ball outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss by Freeman. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 pitch. He got the strikeout. All right, now what? one batter at a time. Teoscar Hernandez coming up. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Well, it's really too bad on that pass ball because you had the chance here to go for the double play. First pitch is a strike. So you really want another strikeout here. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taps it foul. That had been fair. That probably scores a run on an infield hit. Well, no balls and 2 strikes. So Garrett can try to get him to chase here for a pitch or two. High stress level for the Mets. Reed Garrett's battling. They get Ohtani in a rundown. So Mookie Betts moves to third. They get Ohtani in the rundown between third and home. And Teoscar reaches first on the fielder's choice. All right, so there's now 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Runners on first and third. I'm more stressed about this game than I was last game. No, Ohtani was running on contact lounge. Ohtani was running on contact, so that's just how they set it up. And if anything, the player that probably messed it up was Alvarez by not running Ohtani all the way back to the bag. But the Mets got the out. It was a little dicey, but we got it. Will Smith is up now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Mets still have the lead. This is swing and a miss at a low pitch. So Reed Garrett gets out ahead. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Will Smith. Check swing. He goes. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Will Smith. Outside. 1 ball. 2 strikes. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Mets are up 5-4. Mookie Betts on third. Teoscar Hernandez on first. Will Smith at the plate. He got him! Oh, what a huge strikeout. Second and third, nobody out. And specifically, Ohtani and Betts on second and third with nobody out. And Reed Garrett comes through. Okay, we don't do this often. And it wasn't pretty how we got into the mess, but we're going to do it again. That's 2. Brandon Waddell and Reed Garrett both get rock-solid relief performances. That's crazy. That's some of the best pitching out of trouble. That was Edwin Diaz-esque coming out of that inning. That was, I mean, it wasn't pretty how he got there. How he got out of it was beautiful. Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, Reed. Yeah, that was, I was feeling sick to my stomach, guys. That was not fun at all. All right, due up for the Mets. Again, the Mets do have some. I wonder if you're going to see Beatty come in and hit for McNeil, and then move Mauricio to second. You might see that here, but due up for the Mets is Alvarez, McNeil, and Lindor. He deserves that scream, yeah. Oh, that's huge. I mean, obviously it's not like a World Series game, but against the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium, Ohtani on third, Betts on second, nobody out, and you don't allow a run to score. I wonder how many times the Dodgers have had that scenario. I bet you most of the times at least someone gets home. No, that was a great. That was a super impressive performance by Reed Garrett. I didn't want to jinx it before he went out, but Reed Garrett should be considered for an All-Star this year. If he can keep this up for the next month and a half or month or so, like, I don't know how many All-Stars the Mets are going to get. Pete deserves an All-Star spot. I think Lindor deserves one too. I think Soto could still make a push if he could go bonkers in the month of June. Edwin Diaz probably deserves consideration. I mean, honestly, Griffin Canning deserves some consideration. I don't know how many will actually get in, but yeah, Pete, of course, definitely. So Jose Urena, who was with the Mets, is with the Dodgers. Alvarez grounds out to third base. Yeah, Brazaban, I forgot about him. Senga deserve. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many you're going to get in, but yeah, there's probably not room for Soto unless he goes absolute bonkers in June, which, I mean, for the last 4 games, he has been going bonkers, right? Because Soto has 3 home runs in the last 4 games. McNeil drives this one out to the gap. It's going to go all the way to the wall. McNeil is going to get a double out of this for sure. Mr. Krabs, how's it going tonight? So that's a 5-game hitting streak for Jeff McNeil. Mets have a 1-out runner on second. And Luis Angel Acuna is coming in the game. So you're going to get Acuna as the defensive replacement here, as well as the speedy base runner replacement. That's, I do still feel like Acuna is being underused, but it is really nice to have him as the pinch runner and defensive replacement off the bench. Lindor is up. There's 1 for 3, 2 runs scored on the evening. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Lindor fouls the first one back. Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, I mean, Pete's going to get in. They'll let Pete in for the home run derby. Senga's definitely earned it. I mean, it's pretty hard to argue against Diaz and Reed Garrett. That's in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. It should be more than 1. Let's put it that way. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Lindor hits this out to left center field. Pages makes the catch. Cunha gets back. It's going to bring up starting Marte. Brett Beatty is going to come in as the pinch hitter for Start Mart here. So he'll be coming in as the DH. Well, Dodgers are going to bring in a lefty to face Beatty. So one of the hard things for Beatty to have done is get experience against left-handed pitchers. But that's exactly what he's going to get here. He's going to get to face a lefty as a lefty. John, how you doing? Thanks for being here with us tonight. We're always looking for mods in the long run. We're just waiting for people to hang out with us, catch our vibe, make sure this is a place you want to be, participate in chat, all those sorts of things. So eventually the answer is yes. Right now, we're just kind of looking to build the community, get lots of people hanging out with us, everything. So we're on a pitching change for the Dodgers. Let's do this really quick. Some of the games that were in progress have finished. The Orioles ended up beating the Mariners 5-1 as the Orioles begin their slow ascent back towards relevance. If they can start getting good pitching performances, the offense is going to be there, I think. So, Twins are up 10-3 on the Athletics. That's in the 8th. Twins have blown that wide open. 4 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th. There, of course, this game is 5-4. And the Padres have taken the lead on the Dodgers with 2 in the top of the 9th and then 1 in the 10th, and they actually just won the game. So come from behind win for the Padres. And I'll tell you what, the Giants are starting to tailspin right now. If they don't pull out of this soon, they could fall quickly. And if Corbin Burns is out for a long time with the Diamondbacks, that could hurt them, which might actually end up opening up another wild card spot in the National League if both the Giants and the Diamondbacks fall off. Left-hander Anthony Bonda is coming in to pitch for the Dodgers. And actually, Brett Beatty is out of the game. He is not going to get to hit against the lefty. So Luis Torrens is going to pinch hit for the pinch hitter, Brett Beatty, who is pinch hitting for Starling Marte. So looking for a single from Torrens to get this insurance run home. I know that's a lot of stuff to do, but Marte was due up. They brought in Beatty. The Dodgers went to the lefty. Then the Mets went to the righty, Torrens. So that's going to pretty much empty the bench. There's only one hitter left on the bench. That's Jared Young and a lefty. Good night, Vitalik. Thanks for hanging out with us. Brazaban looks like he's going to be the one coming in the 9th. Didn't even know he was available tonight. He drives one. That's pretty deep, but not deep enough just to the warning track. Oh, he gave it a ride, but not quite enough. So it's going to be Brazaban coming in to save it. The good news is it's not the top of the Dodgers order. The bad news is it's still the Dodgers. So we're going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Mets 5, Dodgers 4. Huascar Brazaban is coming in the game. What a game, what a series it's been so far. I think one thing you can say for sure is this Mets team is not afraid of the Dodgers and they can hang with them. Not saying that they're going to be the best team come the end of the season or anything like that. But yeah, this team is, they're putting in the work. I'm going to close some of my other tabs here. Due up for the Dodgers will be Max Muncy, Andy Pages, and Kike Hernandez. They have Rojas, a righty, and rushing a lefty catcher on the bench. That's who's available to them. This is it. This is what it comes down to. It is a 5-4 Mets lead. We're going to the bottom of the ninth. Max Muncy has one of the big hits for the Dodgers today, a 2-run home run. First pitch is outside, 1 ball, no strikes. And I feel just as uncomfortable going into this inning as I did going into last inning. Maybe slightly, I don't want to say more comfortable, but slightly less uncomfortable. The Mets are going to win as usual. I'll tell you what, it's as a Mets fan, this is kind of a new experience for us. And we have lots of PTSD from past failings. How's it going, Good Oxygen? Oh, that's a nice pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes by Brasbach. That's a beautiful pitch. So Max Muncy is up. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. I would not count this game as over yet, though, Good Oxygen, as much as I wish it were. Oh, he ripped it. He destroyed it. It's a tie game, 5-5. You jinxed it, Good Oxygen. Max Muncy crushed that. A 1-2 pitch that got all the plate. So, like last night, the Mets had a lead going into the 9th. And the Dodgers tie it up in the 9th. It's never easy against this Dodgers team. It's just up and down the lineup. There are threats. And you cannot make a mistake to any of them. Muncy's hit 5 home runs in his last 4 games. Absolutely on fire. Ugh. Yeah, it's just a hanging pitch. Due up for the Mets will be Soto, Alonso, and Nimmo if they don't give up another run. With Luis Torrens being the designated runner. And man, the fact that Torrens missed that home run by about 10 feet, what a huge difference that would have been. It's a 1-1 pitch. It's fouled. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Pages. So the Mets can get out of this inning without facing Ohtani if they don't give up any more base runners. Of course, the Mets bullpen is shot. Pages strikes out. Hey, well, the whole bullpen is just toast right now. All right, well, there's 1 out here. Tommy Edman is up for the Dodgers. Or sorry, Kike Hernandez is up. Tommy Edman's on deck. First pitch is a ball. Two and 0 to Kike Hernandez. 2 balls, 1 strike to Kike Hernandez. Three and 1 to Kike Hernandez. Yeah. That happened. Just don't say them in the chat. You can say them at your house. Just don't say them in the chat. That's a strike there. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes to Kike Hernandez. Here's the 3-2 pitch. He got him swinging. Well, there's 2 outs. You're angry, Red Man. Yeah. Just remember, it's just a game. It's for your entertainment. Tommy Edman is coming up. First pitch is a strike. Again, should this go to 10, it'll be Soto, Alonso, and Nimmo due up for the Mets. Big swing and a miss there. Should the Mets get Tommy Edman, it'll be the top of the Dodgers lineup leading off. Luis Torrens is set to be the Manfred man, the free runner on second base. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fouled away. Ryan Mauricio is your favorite top prospect? Well, there's a chance he's going to get an opportunity to make a big impact here in the 10th. We just got to get to the 10th first now. I just want the Mets to win this game so we guarantee the series split. That's all I wanted. Edman fouls off again. Remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. If you're a baseball fan, I hope you are enjoying these games. That's low. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Edman. As a Mets fan, it's a high-stress game to cheer for. But as a baseball fan, struck him out. So Brazaban strikes out 3. Unfortunately, it was after giving up a home run. So it's going to be 5-5. Dodgers tying it up in the 10th. Or in the 9th, once again, to go to extra innings. I mean, I think the one thing that you can say for sure at this point in the season is the Mets can hang with the best teams in baseball. Like, yeah, we can all wish for a mulligan in that Yankees series, but this Mets team isn't going to be intimidated by everyone. They're going to have their bad days. They're going to have some bad games, but as a whole, this team can hang here. Great game. Mets have always been in it. Most entertaining game. Yep. I like how they bounce back. There's a lot of character shown by the Mets both yesterday and today. Of course, I would love the walk-off win. I was not expecting on this going 10, so we're going to bring out Rally Pig, because Rally Pig is actually 2 for 2 today. Now's the right time. I'm going to go do a quick little bathroom break, and I'll be right back with you for the 10th inning. Everybody throw those pig emojis up in the chat. All right, we are back for the 10th inning. There we go, Casey. We got those pigs. Tanner Scott, who has been struggling this season. No balls, 1 strike. Terens on second. Soto just chased 2 in the dirt. Maybe snowballs, 2 strikes. Need Soto to put this ball in play. That's in the dirt. Finally held off on that pitch. Could be 3-0. Could be 3-0, but now it's 1-2. It's late. It's tired. It's been a great game. It'll be a very good game, like an amazing game if the Mets win, but Juan pops it up foul. Spoils a good pitch at the top of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It is tired. I am late. It is late. I am tired. Whatever. So if I'm mixing my words up at this point, my apologies. We're going to just do our best to push through all the way to the end. It's 5-5, top of the 10th. Luis Terens is the Manfred man, the free runner on second. And Soto goes down swinging. So Tanner Scott decided to learn how to pitch again tonight. Alonso and Nimmo are due up next. That at bat, though, was not on that last pitch. It was lost on those first 2 pitches. Pete Alonso is now up with a runner on second. The Mets need runs. The Mets need runs, and plural, I think. We need Rally Pig to come through. It is all tied up, top of the 10th. Alonso, big swing. No balls, 2 strikes. Pete's going to use his timeout here to regroup on for the 0-2 pitch. Two teams that have battled all game, not giving up. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Pete Alonso. Fouled it just barely to stay alive. Here's the 0-2 pitch again to Pete. Oh, Chase is a bad pitch. There's back-to-back strikeouts. Mets still have the runner on second. Well, Comes down to Nimmo now being able to put this ball into play. I feel like the one difference between the Mets stars and the Dodgers stars is I don't think you're going to see these types of at bats from the Dodgers stars. Backhanded by Edman. The side is retired. The Mets go down in order. Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman coming up for the Dodgers. So Jose Butto is going to be pitching for the Mets. If the Mets can somehow get out of the bottom of the 10th, that's going to be a great pitching performance by Butto. Mets already walked on water once this game when the Dodgers had Ohtani on third and Betts on second and nobody out, and they managed to get out of the inning. But this almost seems scarier when you have Ohtani and Betts coming to the plate. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us super late, at least if you're on the East Coast like I am. But please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are on the journey to 500 subscribers. Appreciate each and every one of you. It is late. It is 1:12. 1:12 in the morning. Y'all are hearty for hanging out with us here. It has been a great game from a pure baseball standpoint. Two heavyweights battling it out. From a Mets fan perspective, yeah, it's a battle. I mean, the winning run is on second. Yeah, I was just going to say, you might as well walk Ohtani. That sets up a double play. If you were up by one, it might be different. Up by two, for sure, it's different. But since it's tied, that run doesn't matter. You might as well let Ohtani run. So now you're looking for the strikeout and the double play. I can't fault that. That's not a bad baseball decision. All right. Mookie Betts is up. First pitch is inside. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mookie Betts. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's in the dirt. Good stop by Alvarez. Yep. Great pick, Casey. That definitely saved the runners moving up 90 feet. Fouled back. Ooh, that was a good pitch to hit. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Fouled away. Remains 2 balls, 2 strikes, 5-5. Bottom of the 10th. Dodgers have runners on first and second. Nobody out. Freeman and Teoscar Hernandez, the next 2 due up with Will Smith after that. Strikeout. Really wants the strikeout. He lines it out to left. Nimmo is there. The runners will not advance. It's going to be runners on first and second with 1 out. Freddie Freeman is up. Ohtani is fast, but if you get a ball hit the right place, you can double up Freddie Freeman. He definitely does not run as well as he used to. I mean, if the Mets can get out of this inning, that's flied out deep left. It's going to be in play. The Dodgers are going to win. Nimmo misplayed that ball. Nimmo's made lots of good defensive plays out there, but he just misplayed it. It was a catchable ball. That's a bummer for the game to end that way. It was hard to see what happened. It wasn't a great pitch. I thought it was gone off the bat. Yep. Nimmo turned the wrong way. I mean, had Nimmo caught it, Tommy Edman was all the way to third base. There would have been a chance that he could have doubled him up. All right, well, great game. Not a great ending for the Mets. Yeah, no. Well, Freeman thought he had it too. You could tell by how he was running out of the box, so he got more spin on it than I thought. Well, anyway, sorry, Mets fans, that it ended that way. Congrats to the Dodgers. Nimmo's explaining the dugout how he couldn't find it. He'll take responsibility in the dugout or when the post-game interviews and stuff like that. So Dodgers win the game 6-5. It is what it is. We live to go another day. So good bounce back by the Mets. Unfortunately, they couldn't quite get it all the way. So, yep, good game, Lounge. Appreciate you guys all hanging out. Please hit that like and subscribe. The last one out, please turn off the lights. We appreciate you. We will be live tomorrow night. Our 3rd game in a row that we will be live. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. These Dodgers, like, just because you're winning doesn't mean the Dodgers are going to quit. Like, they're going to keep battling. Griffin Canning versus Tony Gonsolin tomorrow night. So appreciate each and every one of you. Like I said, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you want to help make me feel better, you could join the Patreon. That's the pinned comment in the comments section. Can make me feel better. There's Patreon levels of $5, $25, and $50 a month to help support the channel if you enjoyed this. If not, if you don't like me, that's totally cool as well. But I do appreciate you guys, and we will be with you tomorrow night. So bummer for Nimmo, who's made some amazing plays out there this year, and I'm sure he's going to get to work and figure out how he got messed up so it won't happen again. That being said, I appreciate each and every one of you. Last one out, turn out the lights. And as always, let's go Mets, baby. Have a great night, everybody.